The usherette had to take me out and send me home.
Oh,
Morning!
What a mixed bag of weather we've got today.
I
You
know,
know, Sherry, you took the words out of my mouth. You just
And I
never
know,
walked
Richard,
away.
I know you too well.
I'm sorry, how dare you call me a mixed bag?
You've been called a lot worse, Harriet.
That's true.
Yes,
That's
it's
true.
not an
Yes,
old bag.
Yesterday, I was sweating like Judith Chalmers without her passport. My mouth was drier than a dead thing goes down. Mama needed a drink yesterday, a real
Like the bottom
Oh,
of
yeah.
a parrot's cage.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
No, I'm actually coming to you from a different location, ladies, and I'm sure the eagle-eyed
Yes,
amongst
you're
you
very
have noticed that.
dark.
So I
Yes.
popped into work today because I used the gym opposite, so it was quite handy for me to pop into the dressing room. So just behind me, you can see a rather cheeky bit of fan art.
Yes, darling.
I know.
I can.
Your fan what?
A fan art.
Fan
It's
art.
You know, Sherry, remember the day when you had a fan or two? Well, sometimes they doodle your image and send
But
it
it depends which you're talking about.
Yeah, the ones we can speak of, Sherry. But this was we did a tour of this lovely nation of ours, this jewel in a silver sea we call home on Good Morning Britain a couple of years ago, and this lovely lady had painted this. It's on canvas, and it sort of greeted me when we arrived at her house.
Wow.
That she gave
How?
me a gift. And it really is a gift for just one person. It's not something you can re-gift. I know you ladies are fond of me. I know you have to dig deep for it, but I know you're fond of me. But I know you wouldn't necessarily want that sign hanging on.
No.
Darling, I've got one already.
It's lovely.
I've got one.
Oh, Dee, I know you'd love it, Dee. Your daughter would love it.
I just love anything about you, darling.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
my future husband.
Awkward.
My future husband.
Awkward. How are we, ladies?
My daughter is
That's
actually
it.
planning the wedding as we speak.
She's
Okay.
drunk, Richard. She's drunk.
We need an intervention, darling. We need an important intervention.
Okay, so ladies, I thought this week we talk about our favourite film, our favourite food, and our favourite piece of music. You know, the things that we're strangely drawn to in these uncertain times that bolsters us, gives us a happy feeling, makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside and out. And I know for me, I always get a glow on, and you'll love this, H, because you're a hoofer of the old school, and I believe
Yes.
you're the balls in this particular musical. I always go to ABBA. I always revert to type completely whenever I'm in any sort of, you know, if I ever need uplifting, if I ever need, if I'm feeling a little bit down, I always revert to the Super Swedes. In fact, next door, Bjorn from ABBA was in the dressing room once, and I went in to meet him. I'd interviewed him a couple of times before, but this was the first time he'd come into the studio, and I told him, you know, that I was a fully paid up member of the ABBA fan club back in the day, which was in Swindon, I think, and I even had an ABBA purse around my neck. And
Darling.
I mean, this is a sweeping generalisation. They're not exactly the biggest twinklers, are they? You know, they you know, I don't want to say humourless because I'm sure they've got their own humour, but they're not quite as ribald as us. So when I mentioned the ABBA purse, he sort of backed away slightly. He said, "Oh." But yeah, I also.
Well, Richard, let me just tell you, I'm the only person in the world that is not a big ABBA fan. And I've always said, you know, oh, well, whatever, ever. Anyway, so my daughter, unbeknownst to this, sets up a secret, well, major birthday party for me and had an ABBA tribute band. Oh my God, not an ABBA tribute band.
And it was your it's interesting because Bjorn again have a very successful ABBA tribute band. But whenever you see talent shows where people pick ABBA songs, they're notoriously difficult to sing because the melodies, the girls, you know, the voices, they're so unique. So yes, I always go to ABBA, which means my default film to make me feel good is Mamma Mia, and or Mamma Mia, as I should say. And I remember getting on the flight to Greece last year, and I always put it on my laptop, you know. And I'm thinking, oh, great, you know, I can get a little gin and tonic on the flight, and I'll watch Mamma Mia again. Anyway, I start to put it on the flight, and people are still boarding. Well, this chap sits next to me. I mean, he was an absolute Adonis. He's got, you know, all the sports gear. he's built like this. I mean, an absolute rock. And
Dreams do come
there's
true.
me, this camp old thing who sat there on his way to Mykonos, watching Mamma Mia. But I tell you what, I loved it when the film came out, and my children were of an age where they really loved it as well. You know, ABBA is very much that cross-generational sound, with the possible exception of Sherry's third and final act. But it is a real crowd pleaser. And I remember covering the premiere of Mamma Mia, and went into the cinema afterwards to watch it, and I sobbed at the end of it when they all, you know, it's Aphrodite at the end, you know, and the ice cracks and all the music starts playing again. And they had all these sort of glitter and confetti cannons at the Odeon in Leicester Square where the premiere was, and I sobbed. And I think it's sort of, because I never got to see them as a child, it was just the most extraordinary feeling, and it took me right back to that childhood, to the sizzling summer of '76 and onwards, you know, when I started to get into them. So I love it. That would be my default. As for my default drink or food of choice, it's got to be a nice roast beef, and it's got to be a Campari currently at the moment. I know. Breaking news, ladies, breaking news. Through the last sort of 14 weeks or so that we've been chatting, and obviously you know that Mama likes a gin, I've moved on to something a little bit fruitier, but something a little bit more
posher.
Yeah. Something that reminds me of foreign climes in the absence of actually going anywhere. So like a cheeky little Campari with fresh orange juice.
Oh, I say.
Oh, fabulous.
Oh. Very good for the bowels, Richard.
Very funny.
We didn't need to know that, Sherry.
No, too much information.
Actually, Harriet, I did not know that, but I do know that a friend of mine was recommended. I'm not sure whether his doctor is still on the list, or whether he's still on. Doctor actually recommended Campari for his digestion. So that's
there you go.
Ooh.
Yeah, well done.
Very good for your stomach and eventually your bowels.
I wonder what's in it.
Well, it's all sorts of herbs, isn't it?
It's a health drink, isn't it, darling?
Yeah.
You can class it as a health drink.
Immediately.
It's almost a smoothie, I think.
It's very good for you. There you go.
Excellent.
Dee, what are your favourite things?
As is gin. Oh, my favorite. Well, actually, I'm very. I've got very fond memories of Kentucky Fried Chicken, because. Yeah, I know. You're going to be absolutely shocked and horrified, but I shall continue anyway. And I was married to a theatre director who used to, on the first night, partake in a few beverages afterwards. And I remember one night, he was out very late, didn't get home till about 3 a.m, but thought he would bring me a bucket of KFC as a reward for being so patient while he was out partying with his actor and other people, and came in and woke me up and put it on the bed, this big bucket of KFC, and said, hiya, I get that down you. And I went, I won't tell you what I actually said, but
You've never looked back,
I know where I'd have stuffed the chicken.
Darling, and did you eat it, Dee?
I think yes, I probably did. I have to confess, because I think I just gave in at that point. And I mean, I was awake anyway, and it was absolutely delicious. But I would never eat it now. But it was, it was lovely. Anyway.
And your favourite drink?
My favourite drink has to be G&T, I have to say. It's very boring, but that is my fave. And also, I feel that if I'm drinking G&T, I'm not really drinking alcohol, because I don't really get a massive hangover with it. So I actually could have 3 or 4.
That's really good.
And the movie, Dee, your movie?
Oh, the movie is, well, actually I've got a couple, but I suppose the best one ever is Wonderful Life, because that is just such
I always say that.
Yeah.
What's the saying, Dee? What's the saying?
When you hear a bell ring, an angel gets his
wings. Exactly.
And I also love the line from that film, "No man is a failure who has friends."
Yes.
Which I absolutely love. And also, Dee, I'll tell you what I love as well. I'm assuming we're still in your kitchen, dear, because I can see the butler sink, but you appear to have a cocktail station with Schweppes on it behind you. So you're obviously a girl on the way up. You've got to have a cocktail station in every room of the house.
Oh, yes. Wow. Yeah, you like cocktails, because I saw a documentary where you were actually at the Ritz having cocktails, but about a year, was that last year?
It was lovely. The Ritz is one of my favourite places to have a crepe. Honestly, their Suzette is amazing.
Yeah,
Really?
very
Crepe.
expensive.
Who the hell is
Really?
Suzette? You haven't told us about Suzette. How dare
Suzette.
you have another
Yes,
woman?
that's
No.
right, ladies. I'm seeing other women.
Oh,
How dare you see
God.
Suzette?
No,
I
shocker.
can't believe that. You would do that.
No, that's
No.
it. I'm going. I'm leaving.
That's
Suzette.
it. She's
Debbie,
all.
darling, what
She's
are
all.
yours?
Debbie.
Yes, mine. Well,
Yeah.
actually, strangely enough, I do have the same film as Dee, but the other feel-good film, of course, has got to be Singing in the Rain.
Ah, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. It's great. It's just one of those films that you watch and you think,
Fabulous.
oh,
Yeah, it
transports
is.
you.
It's
It's just,
beautiful.
it's just amazing. My favorite drink has become a gin and tonic. I used to like rosé, and I do like a glass of wine, but gin and tonic I can drink a bit like Dee because I don't feel I'm drinking anything.
Yep.
And I think what,
And
right. And I think the key thing with a gin and tonic as well is obviously it's not a cocktail, but you've got to have the right measures to make the perfect gin and tonic.
That's very true. And there's lovely types of gin around now, and beautiful tonic waters with fever tree.
Fever free.
Yeah.
Fever tree.
Fever tree. Fever
Yeah.
tree.
But
Fever
it does
tree.
say on the fever tree that you have, what is it, a quarter gin and 3/4 tonic. And I think,
Yeah.
well, I don't.
Oh, I better do that then. Except I do it the other way around.
I do it the other way around as well, don't you, Richard?
Queen Mother measures, darling. Queen Mother measures. God bless.
Yes.
Queen Mother.
And
Absolutely.
what was the last thing? Our favourite food, was it?
Food.
Movie? Food. Oh, well, I suppose if I could ever get it, it's Jewish food. It's how I was brought up. What I
Yeah.
could do with some chicken soup and some matzo balls, and I miss my grandma. That's my comfort food.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If anyone sends me any recipes, she did say to me, "You will regret not learning to cook." I said, "Don't be so silly. I regret it."
Chicken soup.
Mama's chicken soup.
Great.
Fabulous.
So Sherry,
Yes, right. Where do I start?
Oh, no.
Well, I'll start with the gentle one. The first song is Fallen with Lauren Wood. I'm falling for you because my daughter danced that on her wedding day. So
Oh.
Fallen, listen to it. It's the most beautiful song, Lauren Wood. So that's a gentle one. Music. Oh God, now then, music. Let me just think about this. Well, I'll go to the drink first. I like fiery, really fiery ginger beer. You know, that burns your throat. And then if you put a large gin in it, it really burns your throat. Now that is good for you. Now that, for your bowels, you see, Richard, that would really clean you out. So just remember that. Food-wise, it's true. Food-wise, well, the story is too long to tell you, so I'll tell you briefly. When I was at drama school, Steve McQueen came to drama school, and I was elected to take him on a red bus. So I took him on a bus, but I was so stupid I couldn't speak, and he must have thought, but he had people around him, and to thank me because he thought, you know, drama students from RADA and all that nonsense. And we went to a restaurant called Poissonnerie, which was fish, which I'm allergic to. And we sat there, and he ordered clam chowder, which I didn't know what it was. And I ate the clam chowder and projectile vomited over Steve McQueen in a Poissonnerie. And went outside, projectile vomited on him again. They threw me in a taxi, and the back of the taxi, I can always remember that little square thing where Steve McQueen was sick, all running down him. So that was my joy of food.
That is the best story. That is the best story.
And my story about a film is even sadder than that. My first film was, went to the cinema with a boy who looked like Paul McCartney called Dave. And we went to see Cliff Richard's Summer Holiday. And I stalked this boy because I was totally in love with him. And he was so sick of me in the end. My mother said, please just take her to the cinema. Just take her to the cinema and she'll leave you alone. I was only 14. I mean, I couldn't bear, I just stalked him everywhere. So we went to the back row and I thought he was going to snog me. We were there. And he did hold my hand, to be fair, he did and he went to the toilet and never came back.
Yeah.
I just left him there. And I just cried and cried. And when the film ended and everybody had gone, and the usherette had to take me out and send me home. Isn't that sad? I still like the film though, Summer Holiday. I still like it. So I've had a very checkered life. But yes, so
Those were the best stories.
awful. So sad, isn't it?
Brilliant.
So,
Brilliant.
who hasn't spoken? Is it Harriet?
Yes,
Yes.
No, Harriet.
My favourite movie is always Now Voyager with Betty Davis, with
Oh,
the line,
yeah.
why should we ask for the moon when we already have the stars, with Paul Henry. And it's about this old maid who finds her voice in life, finds her identity, and then goes on to fall in love with somebody she can never be with. But it is the most brilliant, beautiful film and inspirational. And I think
she didn't get on with Paul Henry. Did you know that?
Thank
they
you
really
for
disliked
sharing that.
each
Now
other.
you've destroyed the film.
Sorry. I just had a destroying life, so I might as well destroy yours.
Thank you very much. Yes, and you've already mic dropped Steve McQueen, so I've nothing to say. But anyway, the other thing, my favourite food as a little girl, when I was 8 and we first went to live in Los Angeles, was the ice cream. And at home, you know, the ice cream van would come around on a Sunday afternoon and you'd all run out there to get your ice cream. And it was, you could get some filthy, sludgy thing in a cone, or you could get, what was it? It was vanilla, strawberry and chocolate. Was it Wall's ice cream, a block of it?
Oh, but
yes.
On Neapolitan.
Yeah.
Yes, Neapolitan, that's the one. Thank you.
That.
And the most glamorous thing was pistachio. Well, when I got to LA, 31 flavors. I thought I had gone to heaven. And my favorite one was English toffee, which is not unlike salted caramel now. But 31 flavors was the beginning of my end, if I can use that phrase. And I've never stopped eating ice cream since. Thank you. Less from you, thank you. That's for me to know and you to wonder at. Anyway, and my favorite drink has got to be a twinkle. And it does what it says. It is champagne, it is vodka, and it is elderflower, either cordial or liqueur with a twist of lemon chilled. And you twinkle forevermore. And once you've had one, you never go back.
Did I say twinkle?
I've had a twinkle with you before, Harriet.
You have,
We've had a twinkle together.
We have.
So
I try and twinkle with everyone I know.
I know. So maybe so, Sherry, if you have a twinkle and you never go back, that's a lesson that you learned when you were 14 with the boyfriend then, wasn't it?
I know. That's so sad.
Yeah, I do.
It's a story of my life, that, Richard. Everywhere
Please, can we do a first date show? Because we've all got hysterical stories, I'm sure.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I've got more than
what did
that.
happen to me once, but I must tell you this, is that I was dancing in a club with a boy. I was about 15, and I said to him, "Your buckle's sticking in me," and he said, "I'm not wearing a belt." And I went home and I told my mother this because I was very confused, and she laughed for 3 days.
I remember when I did the waterbed with Reg. Remember that, Richard?
yes. Yeah.
And I remember we were there for hours. We had to do one take, but we had to do it for hours. And I remember him lying next to me. I said, "Get that thing out of my back." And I turned around. It wasn't what you thought, but it was a lump of gorgonzola cheese, as it happened.
What?
That's another story for another day.
Who brings gorgonzola cheese onto a waterbed? What the F?
I can't even tell you. It just.
Yes, you can.
Anyway, the smell was just unbelievable.
I know I say it every week, but it's like falling down the looking glass every time I log into this computer. Sometimes during the week, I actually open the laptop and just peek like this, thinking, are they still there in here? Yes, I know. And there they are again. Every Saturday morning. They're working on us still against all odds.
Yes, it is a bit like that, Richard. You're right.
Surreal.
Thank goodness.
Do some banking, and I'm like.
Did you say banking, darling?
I did, dear.
Yes.
I did, dear.
Thank God for that. Oh dear. Well.
Just
So Saturday now. Off we go, girls.
Yeah, off we go.
Oh, what's that?
Very quickly. I just found this in my dressing room. This is a picture of me as a prefect.
Wow.
The days.
Sexy.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous, darling.
Gorgeous.
Hashtag
Yes.
change. Do you want
Handsome
change?
dude.
16 years of age, in a leather blouson from C&A, a lemon yellow prefix jumper that I used to put shoulder pads in just to bolster the leather blouson. As always with Wonderbirds, it's a story for another time. Ladies,
Another day.
Campari for everyone. And I'll let you get on this room, Sherry. Keep twinkling, girls.
We
Copy
love
that.
you. See you next week. Bye.